Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Charles again, and I just wanted to show you that it did actually work to clean up this bandolier. I also wanted to show you how it works with the M1905 or M1915, as well as the M39 Swedish rucksack. They're all built somewhat similar with different capacities or materials, with the difference between the M1905 versus the M1915 is they're the same shape. They just use less leather, so it's hard to see, but you can see here there's a leather backing behind there. On the M15, it has more canvas on the back instead of leather. Obviously that saved them some money, but they're not as durable as the leather. This specific one was made in 1910, at least the leather was. And so you can see here with these shoulder straps, and this would be very similar on the M39. I do not have one of those to show you, and I've never owned one, so I cannot say for certain it's exactly the same, but it should be very similar. So you have these little dropouts from the rucksack down to either a duty belt or a bandolier like this. This is the M10 bandolier made for the M1896 Mauser, Swedish Mauser. Also, I just want to show you on one of these pockets, I did load it up fairly good, not all the way, but you can see here you've got about 2 to 2.5 inches wide by about 4 inches tall. So with 5 pockets here, you can carry quite a few different things inside of here. You know, if you want a fire kit here, you've got maybe snacks, you know, whatever you can think of to fit in that type of size. Now to me, it's a little bit more about look than it is function, but it is functional too. So you can put a lot of different little kits inside of this thing. If you take a look here, you've got this hook, which just goes into this square ring right here, which helps support this. So in theory, when this was made, anyway, this was made for 2, I think it's 5 round clips for the Mauser. So you fit 2 clips in each pouch, so you could have 10 clips inside of this. I don't have a Mauser. I'm not going to be carrying clips inside of here, so this is just more for fun or for carrying more stuff. I believe these would probably work with any other rucksack out there that uses these drop down hooks. Yeah, I don't have any other rucksacks that use this hook, but that's about it there. Now you can take a look here. The way that this thing is supposed to rest is like in your waist here. It's above your hips. So here's my belt. So it's above the belt line. So it does ride a little bit higher. This thing just has a hook over here. And so you just fold over this belt. So there's a little bit of room here. I mean, I haven't measured my waist, but my you know, or at least my torso, but my waist is about 34 inches. When I'm looking at this thing, you can probably get, there's 1, 2, 3 more hooks there, so I'm guessing probably around 38 40 inches using this buckle on here. If you're bigger than that, you might want to get like an extension or something like that to put in between these. Obviously I need to lose some weight, but you know, hell, I'm 50 years old. So let's take a look at this right here. So I'm going to upload the original condition of this before, and I'm going to show you some more things. So you can see here, you can basically get this in a like a rectangle or square type of configuration. So this will hold quite a bit. If you look over here, there's nothing in these, so these things will tighten up on there. So what I did to clean this up is, first I started with a microfiber rag, and then I was using Lexol 3-in-1. I like the Lexol because it doesn't really darken anything. So when you first spray it on the rag, it's a damp rag, so basically I saturate this with water and then I squeeze out everything I can, wring it out, so it's just damp, and then I spray some of that Lexol on there, and then I just start going through here. So that helps get rid of the surface contaminants and things like that. It'll help minimally to treat this, and I don't know, I thought I did a pretty good job. Got rid of all that little, I don't know if it was mold bloom or whatever. It looked kind of whitish, and you saw that on the picture for this. Next thing I did is, for the brass, I used some of this. It's Wright's copper cream. Basically what this does is it's formulated mainly for brass and copper, but I have used it on steel and things like that. But if you remember an original video that showed this thing had all of the patina, you know, that greenish color on this buckle. You can kind of see it's going to be difficult. There's patina there. So I haven't finished cleaning this, but when I clean this, I'm just going to use like a screwdriver or something to try to get rid of, see all that dark green color around there. With the tannins in the leather, it's reacting with this brass and the brass rivets that are in here. So you can kind of see that even behind this, where it's inserted into the leather, it's kind of swelled a little bit, and that's because of all the tannins reacting there. You get all that patina, so it's kind of thick. I haven't cleaned it yet. I'm going to be as delicate as I can, you know, because I don't want to go over, you know, work too hard and then tear the leather. But just to make a little bit more room. I mean, over time it's still going to keep continuing doing that, but if I can mitigate it a little bit by getting rid of some of this stuff, I will. On some of the stuff that I sell, if I've had like 2 of these previously, and I did sell them. I don't do as much cleanup just because people want to see its original state, and in theory you can get more money for stuff in original condition, and then people can do whatever they want with it. Some people want it done ahead of time so they don't have to do all the work, and it's kind of a gamble for me. I mean, I've sold 2 of these before, and I probably made $5 to $15 max profit reselling these. I really just wanted one of these, but I was also testing the waters, see if I could recoup some of the money, because I buy a lot of things. And yeah, I think it did okay, but I mean, it's just difficult. I mean, there's most of the ones that you see on eBay, online, or whatever for sale are they're either counterfeit. I mean, there's one with a really dark buffalo hide on there, and it looks like it's made well. I haven't seen one personally, but it's not the original. This is the original. This specific one is most likely from the 1910 to 1920s, late 1920s. Subsequently, they stopped putting these little strap holders here, like sewing them on, and then they just simply cut slots right through here so they could pass this strap through there. You see all this sewing in here. So on the later ones, which I'm guessing, and I don't know, but from the 1920s, 1930s on, they used rivets instead of stitching on here. Now I like the way that this one looks with the stitching on these and the stitching on the back. So they had rivets down here for these, the bottoms of the straps, rivets right here. Now this thing's in great condition for being about 100 years old, plus or minus 10 to 15 years. And I think it looks great. But most of the ones I see for sale are just beat to crap. And it doesn't mean they're not functional. They just look very used and a different color. What I like about this is this matches, you know, the little knapsack that I have on me right now. And that's the main reason I wanted this, and I just like that sewn look a little bit better than rivets. But that's my personal choice. You can like whatever you like, right? Let's see. And then the last step that I did is I used Obenauf's heavy duty LP. The reason I like this stuff is it's not just the oil. They do make just an oil. I find that just straight oil tends to go into this and then bleed into all the surrounding stuff. This does have oil, and I don't know exactly what they have in there because it's kind of proprietary, but it's not, it doesn't overdo it. It will darken it slightly, but not as much as like straight mink oil or other type of creams or whatever that's mainly mink oil. It has beeswax in there as well, and you know, basically you're just heating it up with your body heat from your fingers when you smooth that stuff on there. It melts and then it's absorbed by the leather. So I put 2 coats of this on there right now. Usually with all my leather stuff, I usually treat it somewhere between 6 months to 1 year, depending on how much I'm using the thing. With that beeswax, it also gives it a little bit of water resistance that's not naturally in there. As far as the nubuck parts of this, so one side is finished on the inside against your body, the outside is the nubuck. So I'll just spray a little bit of this directly on it to help treat it, hydrate it, and then I use a brush. Because it is nubuck, I don't want to flatten that stuff out, but it helped clean this up so this looked kind of whitish and dirty on there. So I used a brush and then I wiped it with the microfiber, and so you can still see it still has its texture on here, but it's still protected. I try to treat mainly the finished side, and so then all those oils go into it. Although on something as old as this, it's good to hydrate it a little bit, and that's why I'll spray some kind of cleaner on it with you know, like a 3-in-1, so that way it kind of treats it a little bit but not too much, and it didn't really darken this at all. It just helped me clean it up. But if you guys have any questions, I will try to answer as soon as I can, or you got some comments like I'm full of shit, help me out. If you got a better idea, I'm open to it. This is what I found for me tends to work very well, is using, you know, just what I showed you. But there might be a better way, and I'll listen. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, give me a call. Don't call me. Post it.